Okay, so if you want to get unconfused about carbohydrates and try and figure out how to work them into your diet, then I highly recommend that you do. Look, I'm not saying that there's other diets where carbohydrates are extremely low in order for you to get into ketogenesis doesn't work. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that there are a few habits that if you have around carbohydrates will really be in your favor. So when you do go super low carb, generally, and especially paleo, generally speaking, meat gets higher up on the diet. And what people don't understand and don't often know is that protein still can be overeaten and can trigger a lot of fat storage hormones. Okay, so there is such a thing as eating too much protein. So it's easy to get stuck into that habit where you put quite a lot of pressure on the body in order to break down protein, and then you might as well have been eating carbohydrates. So I'm not saying that that doesn't work. It definitely does. You just have to have like any way you do things, you've got to have a bit of self-control around what it is that you're doing. The benefit though of being able to moderate your carbohydrates, knowing how to work with them, is that you get a better bang for your buck in terms of exercise. It's much better in terms of your hormone health. Women, you'll get far better results this way than you will going the other way, going super low carb and not having carbohydrate at all. It's different for guys. Our hormone situation and guys' hormone situation is a little bit different. Well, it's a lot different. So let me give you a couple of analogies so that you know what we're working with. The main thing is that you've got to make sure that there is not excessive insulin in the blood. So what is insulin? Well, insulin mops up sugar from the blood after you've eaten. So when you eat anything, your body's going to convert it into blood glucose. Okay, that's how we get energy from our food. But you can't have an excessive amount of sugar in the blood. So any amount of sugar that is past a certain level, your body will make insulin, and it will take the excessive sugar and put it into the cell. Okay, now the cells that are open to receive that sugar are your muscle cells. All right, so let's say, for example, that this is your muscle cell, okay, and your liver cells also take in sugar. They have a certain capacity. So just like this drink bottle, there is a certain capacity that this drink bottle can hold water. All right, so let's say you eat, and this is the sugar. And sugar comes along with insulin and it goes into the mouth of the cell. All right. Now, once the muscle cells and the liver cells are full, that's it. There's no more room. And so where does the sugar go? Well, insulin will carry your sugar to your fat cell if there is no more room in the muscle or the liver cells. All right. And your fat cells, unlike your muscle and liver cells, which have a capacity to be full, right? Your fat cells have an unlimited capacity to expand. Right? They have an unlimited capacity to expand and create more fat cells in order to accommodate for the excessive sugar in the bloodstream. Now, carbohydrates are the food group that turn to sugar the easiest. All right, and if there are things going on with your hormones that are already out of balance, then carbohydrates are generally the food group where you will be eating too much of. Okay, so first things first is that when you learn to manage the portion of your carbohydrates that you're eating, what that does is it really helps balance your blood glucose levels. Okay, significantly reducing the amount of insulin present in the blood, which means that there is less sugar in the blood, which means that you're creating room in your cells to be able to receive sugar. Okay, so you're creating space. Now, what that does is two things. First thing is that, yes, it will limit the amount of, significantly reduce the, if not eliminate the amount of sugar that is going into the fat cell. But also, it is the first step to helping regulate your hormones. Almost all of your hormones start to come into alignment, start to rebalance themselves when you reduce the amount of insulin in the bloodstream. That's the first step, right? That is the first step. So, depending on whether you're male or female is going to determine how much room you have. So if you are If you are a guy, you have this much room, right? You have more capacity to store carbohydrates / sugar. All right. If you're a female, then you have less room. All right. It's literally just about the amount of muscle you have as to how much that you can store. All right. If you're a woman that works out and you lift weights, you're going to be creating more storage room in order for you to hold. You're expanding your storage capacity for carbohydrates. Okay, so all these things do help you manage your ability to deal with carbohydrates. So that's the reason why you need to manage it. So I'm going to give you in order the way that I would recommend prioritizing your carbohydrates. Okay, so first of all, there's an order of preference in terms of carbohydrates consumed. The best quality, all right, with the lowest carbohydrate value would be your non-starchy fruits and vegetables. Okay, so non-starchy fruits and vegetables would be the best quality, lowest carbohydrate value. Then you've got legumes second. Okay, so legumes would be second, like your kidney beans and chickpeas and lentils and pulses. They would be second. Third would be your starchy vegetables, all right, so pumpkin, kumara, potato, and corn, all right, so that would be some examples of the third priority. The fourth would be grains. Now we're assuming that we're talking about the best quality grains, okay, so we're talking about whole grains like quinoa and brown rice as an example, all right, and then up from that, so the next quality, the next one up from there is going to be your pasta, all right? But we're talking about good quality pasta, like your egg-based fettuccine, okay? So not the white rice flour noodle. We're talking about the egg-based pasta, like fettuccine. And then after that, we're talking about breads. Okay, so breads come the furthest, and the reason why I'm giving you this order is because often I see a displacement here. So some of the carbohydrates that are much higher on the list, so the lesser quality being eaten because it's convenient, but the more convenient it is, then the more that you should know that it's probably not ideal. And then you're going to get to the even lesser quality rices, like your white rices and your jasmine rices and the white breads and so forth. So they're going to be the least quality. All right, so that's the order in which you want to prioritize incorporating carbohydrates in the diet. Now, the portion size that you want to be having are half cup portions. Okay, so within those first few, all right, so the non-starchy fruits and vegetables, you could pretty much go for gold on those ones because the carbohydrate value is so incredibly low. In fact, in some of them, there are hardly any sugars at all, if any. All right, and then with the legumes, you want to be going for about half cup portions. With the grains like the brown rice and the quinoa, cooked, all right, half cup portion. With the fettuccines and the pasta, the egg-based pastas, same thing, half cup portions. Anything up from there, you want to make sure that your portions are even smaller than that because of the type of grain that's being used and because of the way that it's digested and so forth. Okay, so but for those first few, half cup portions are the ones is the portion that I recommend. So you can try that within your meal. Try that and take a look at your results. Take a measurement at the beginning of the week and then take a measurement at the end, and you should see a result within the week. All right, you should see a result within the week. So learn to manage those carbohydrate portions. Remember, it's all about keeping insulin low. All right, making sure that you realize that you have that carbohydrates are absolutely okay, and I recommend them so long as you manage the portion and the intake. There's only a limited capacity that you can store. All right, and so if you are having more than what you can store, that's when you get spillover and your fat cells have an unlimited capacity to store. Okay, so that is really the only reason why people avoid carbohydrates, but I recommend them. They do amazing things for your hormones. All right, so that's the message for today. I really hope that you got some value from that. If you like that and you like learning about this kind of stuff, then look out for the details that I'm going to be posting up soon about my course in September. In September, I'm going to be running a group coaching course. I'm going to take you through stuff like this, but in much more detail and as you are getting results. All right, and that's going to be coming up in September. So look out for that on my website. The website is generationhealth.co.nz. That's www.generationhealth.co.nz. If you've got any questions, just reach out to me through the contact us and I'll reply to you within 24 to 48 hours. All right, have a good rest of your day and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. See you later.